Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Here are my top 5 TV shows of 2022, so let's jump right into it. At number 5, we have Peacemaker. This was an absolute comedy of a show with terrific action scenes and emotions showed at times. And I think Vigilante was also the highlight of the show for me. He's one of my anticipated characters, in my opinion, and James Gunn really proves his writing ability in the show as well. At number 4, we have Moon Knight. This series follows Stephen Grant, who begins having blackouts and memories of another life. And when he discovers that he shares a body with mercenary Mark Spector, their complex identities thrust them into a deadly war amongst gods of Egypt. And I think Oscar Isaac had an outstanding performance playing Mark Spector and Stephen Grant, and the plot was alright. Then again, there are some logical inconsistencies and questions that you ask yourself, but overall, it was a really good show in my opinion. At number 3, we have 1899, easily my most anticipated TV show of the year. The premise follows migrants on a steamship traveling to New York, and their journey takes an unexpected turn when they find the Prometheus, a ship that was lost on the sea. And what they find on board turns their passage to New York into a horrifying nightmare. And this was created by the creators of Dark, so I didn't expect any less, and this it did not miss at all. The performances of the cast was good, and the plot was also really good. And there are a lot of mysteries that are constantly being created and being solved at the same time. And you just find yourself asking a lot of questions, but in a good way. And I'm also really excited to see where season 2 heads. At number 2, we have Boys season 3. Homelander once again proves himself as a terrifying villain. Jensen Ackles' performance as Soldier Boy also blew me away, because I wasn't even expecting him to be a villain or a anti-hero at first, because when I saw the trailer, I thought he was just a hero that was gonna interfere with the vigilantes and the dynamic between them, since I hadn't read the comics. But he's actually a villain slash anti-hero, and his performance was really nice and great, and the plot was also really good. Then again, I think the finale was a little bit lackluster, but yeah. Before we get to number 1, here are some honorable mentions. Miss Marvel. I think I'm amongst the minority that actually thinks Miss Marvel was a good show. It's a superhero coming of age story of Kamala Khan. I don't really have an opinion on the power switching, but everything else I honestly really enjoyed. The plot of the show was alright, it was okay, and the performance was alright as well. And overall, it's just an alright show. Second is The Sandman. This was also a very nice show. I think there's some flaws here and there, but the performance from Tom Sturridge and Gwendolyn Christie was also really nice. And just seeing the Sandman character as well, I've never really been familiar with the character, but the show does a really great job introducing him, in my opinion. And finally, we have Better Call Saul season 6. Now, the thing is, I didn't really enjoy the season, and I figured that out when I was actually in the midst of watching season 6, because of the very incredibly slow pacing. It wasn't until I started watching season 6 that I realized that the only reason I had enjoyed the show in the first place was because I watched season 1 to 5 by binge watching it in the span of 1 to 2 weeks. I never realized that how slow the pacing was, and even when I was binge watching it, it was still paced slowly. So that just shows. But I'm definitely not denying that the writing and everything about the show and every single season was good and phenomenal. But yeah, I don't think I really enjoyed it. But I don't know if anyone else can relate, but yeah. Finally, at number 1, we have Severance. The show is about Mark, who leads a team of office workers whose memories have been surgically divided between their work and personal lives. And when a mysterious colleague outside of work appears to Mark who's just chilling, it begins a journey to discover the truth about Lumen, the company that they work for. And this show definitely blew me out of the park as well. I was not expecting the show at all, and the premise of the show didn't really hook me in, but I decided to give it a watch one day, and it definitely did not miss at all. The performances of every single character was also really nice, and the plot is just really mysterious, and it also conveys the dystopia in the society that they lived in. and it's just like a certain connection that you feel with the show as well. So I definitely recommend that everyone gives this a watch. But yeah, that's about it for this video. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Peace.